Coming up on today's show, Lucid announced that its upcoming Air sedan can travel more than 500 miles per charge according to the EPA test cycle. Tesla announces a 5-to-1 stock split ahead of its battery day and shareholder meeting, and a Hyundai Kona EV travels more than 1,000 kilometers on a single charge. But there's a catch. These stories and more coming next. Welcome back to another episode of Transport Evolved News. It's been a crazy week in the world of cleaner, greener, safer and smarter transportation, and I'm hopefully going to help guide you through all of the biggest stories. So sit back, grab yourself a coffee or a cold one and enjoy today's show. Thanks to the Electric Auto Association for their sponsorship today. Find out how to join them and how to accelerate the transition to electric by going to electricauto.org. Back at the start of this summer, we got the chance to sit down with CEO and CTO of Lucid Motors, Peter Rawlinson. During our interview, which you can see on this channel, Peter dropped some pretty big hints about the upcoming Lucid Air and how it would have a pretty impressive range, despite having a smaller than originally planned battery pack. This week we learned just how impressive that range will be, 517 miles, according to independent testing following the official EPA test procedures for EVs. Lucid says the range is possible thanks to the Air's 900-volt power electronics, drivetrain and low coefficient of drag. We'll get to see the Air for the first time in its production form in September, and right now, assuming it can reach production according to schedule, and nobody else beats it to market, it will be the longest ranged EV on sale. When the Porsche Taycan launched last year, Porsche was very keen to make sure we knew all about its over-the-air update system for the luxury performance sedan. But while Porsche has rolled out the necessary network support to make over-the-air updates possible, it's currently suffering the embarrassment of asking Taycan owners to take their cars to their local dealership in order to have their cars upgraded with the latest and greatest operating system. The reason for this? Apparently, the new system update for the Taycan is just so large that sending it via the cellular modem in the Taycan would have not only taxed the network, but also resulted in unbearably long update times. Porsche is hopeful that future updates will be available over the air, and I'm guessing that most Taycan owners are actually hoping the same. BMW has been pursuing the idea of using geofenced zones to force its plug-in hybrids to operate in electric-only mode for some time now, and now the first of such zones have gone live in the UK. Called BMW eDrive zones, BMW customers with new plug-in hybrid 3, 5, 7 and X5 series vehicles will now find their cars can automatically switch from hybrid or gasoline operation to all-electric mode when entering clean and zero-emission zones in central London and Birmingham. Existing owners with plug-in hybrids running BMW's operating system 7 will apparently get an update for their cars via an over-the-air software update to turn on the feature. While it's great to see new ways to ensure zero-emission zones remain, I would rather, as I'm sure you would, see more choice in all-electric vehicles. Hopefully we'll see that happen very soon. Ahead of its September Battery Investor Day and annual shareholder meeting, Tesla announced this week that it will be executing a 5-for-1 stock split at the end of August. As the name suggests, stock splits involve taking existing stock and then splitting it into however many discrete shares, each worth a fraction of the value of the original share. In Tesla's case, this translates to taking the share price on the close of business on August 28th and then dividing that price by 5, issuing shareholders 4 new shares for every share they already own, meaning that shareholders will have 5 shares for every share they previously had. But the total value of those shares will actually remain the same at point of split. We actually made a video discussing this during the week in full, so check out that if you require more explanation. It has a claimed sprint time of less than 2.2 seconds, a top speed in excess of 221 miles per hour, and a range of more than 1,000 miles. And now we've got to see the Hyperion XP-1 for the very first time. revealed midweek online via publishing of a teaser video that combines both real-world footage and computer graphics, the XP-1 is powered by a hydrogen fuel cell stack that, combined with all the other pieces of this vehicle, weighs in at less than £2,000. Hyperion's special sauce is claimed to be space-age construction materials like Kevlar reinforced composites, which the company says is inspired by NASA and designed to save weight and ensure a good power-to-weight ratio. But while we know what the car looks like, we don't have a whole lot else to go by, like where it's actually going to fill up. Automakers file patents all the time, and on this channel we've covered plenty of them. But the patent you're seeing right now isn't just any patent. Its 18 authors include Elon Musk. Yes, that's right. The latest patent to be filed by Tesla for Smart Summon was co-authored by Musk and 17 other Tesla staff, reminding us that unlike some industry CEOs, he likes to roll up his sleeves from time to time. A remote control feature that leverages Tesla's autopilot system to allow cars to automatically meet their owners at the entrance to a parking lot, as well as parking themselves after dropping their owners off at the same, Smart Summon is already available in some markets. While the patent was filed early last year, it's only just been published, something that is really not that unusual in patent land. I am constantly being told by viewers to this channel that, despite making regular long-distance trips in a non-Tesla, it's just not possible to drive across the US in anything other than a Tesla EV. This week, we learned of someone else proving the exact opposite, except this time it wasn't a car driver, but a Harley-Davidson Livewire rider by the name of Felix Stelmezek. Faced with months of working from home and social distancing, he jumped at the chance to ride an epic 3,500-mile trip in order to do some research ahead of a potential work relocation from Atlanta, Georgia to California. Although he says he thinks he approached the trip in, quote, a somewhat naive fashion, he successfully made the trip with only a few broken charging stations to deal with and working alternatives to fill him up. And that said, he did apparently roll in with the electronic equivalent of vapour in his tank a couple of times, reminding us all that good planning is key, regardless of what EV you happen to drive. Tesla has been contacting businesses who've offered destination charging for Tesla owners in the past, with a view to offering them the chance to upgrade to the latest third-generation destination charging hardware. Originally, Tesla had offered locations free destination chargers so that Tesla owners could use. The expectation was that the businesses offering them would pay for all of the electricity. But now it looks as if Tesla is getting ready to enact paid charging through that third-generation hardware, which presumably turns charging into a new revenue stream for the owners of those destination charging sites. While the process would be seamless for Tesla owners, it does cause some worry that the new hardware may not allow non-Tesla owners to charge with a Tesla to J1772 adapter, something that previously dramatically expanded destination charging for non-Tesla owners. And now it's time for Short Shorts. Last week we told you about Cadillac's upcoming Lyriq EV, and this week, thanks to GM President Steve Carlisle, we're learning that its starting price will be just under $60,000. He made the announcement at the JP Morgan Auto Conference this week. Siemens has announced it's going to be launching a brand new pilot project of its meter-integrated charging technology in New York City. The idea would be that customers would be able to tie their street-side or public charging activities to their home's electricity bill. Ford has announced a recall alert for owners of the Ford Escape PHEV and Ford Kuga PHEV in Europe. Owners whose cars were produced before June 26th this year are being instructed not to plug in and charge their cars due to a potential fire risk. There's actually a stop sale on the vehicle right now, and a recall will be following shortly. After it first trademarked the term Corvette E-Ray in 2015, General Motors has renewed the very same. It's not clear if an electric Corvette is still on the cards, however, as companies often re-register trademarks to prevent competitors from stealing them. Continuing its bizarre rise on the stock market this week, Nikola Motors shares spiked when the company's CEO announced Arizona-based Republic Services was ordering 2,500 trash trucks from the company. A trash truck which nobody's actually seen yet. Rumours floated around this week seem to suggest that Ford Mustang Mach E is about to get a boost in its EPA range estimates. The rumour comes from a Ford Mustang Mach E fan forum, and the source is an unnamed dealership who told future customers of the change. Unfortunately, I've not been able to corroborate this story. What I have been able to corroborate, however, is a peer-reviewed paper from Jeff Dahn and his battery research colleagues into a new cell design that solves issues with anode-free lithium-ion cells. It suggests the new cells, which are far more energy-dense, could pave the way for better electric airplanes as well as EVs. Dahn's research group is, of course, funded by Tesla. Continuing its now frequent progress videos, Rivian posted a new insider video this week on YouTube. This time we got a walkthrough of the Rivian R1T production line with company founder and CEO RJ Scaringe. It's cool to see RJ get so excited and nerding out about this upcoming pickup and the parts that put it together. Volkswagen announced this week that alongside the production line where it will make North American market ID4 electric SUVs, as well as the new battery facility being built by SK Innovation to provide it with cells for the same, it will launch its own battery cell research program in the US. Ahead of the official launch next week of the Kandi K23 and K27 electric cars, Kandi North America has slashed prices for the first 1,000 customers. It will reduce the K27 to under $10,000 and the K23 to under $20,000, both of those prices after incentives. Hyundai has announced this week that it's going to begin selling its electric vehicles under a new sub-brand. The name? Hyundai IONIQ. 3 new plug-in models will come to market to launch the sub-brand, the IONIQ 5, IONIQ 6 and IONIQ 7 EVs. While our chat with Peter Rawlinson earlier this year already discussed the possibility of an all-electric SUV on the Lucid Air's platform, Rawlinson reaffirmed that expectation this week, noting that Lucid may even consider a pickup, but that it's not going to make EVs for other companies. A new DC quick charging station from Freewire has launched, featuring an onboard battery pack. Unlike most powerful rapid charging stations, which require 3-phase power, this unit can be powered from a single-phase power supply. It's best suited to low-traffic situations. Kyoto University, in collaboration with researchers from Toyota, have currently been working on a new fluoride-ion battery cell chemistry. They say it's expected to yield ranges in excess of 1,000 kilometers per charge. A battery prototype has already proven successful in the lab. Transport for London's Northumberland Park bus depot has become the world's largest vehicle-to-grid project. Working in collaboration with Scottish Southern Energy and BYD, 28 double-decker electric buses will be used as part of the V2G fleet when they're not on the road. CATL, which supplies many major OEMs with electric car battery cells, including Tesla, is working on a new design technique that would do away with battery module casings. Instead, it will put lithium-ion cells directly into the chassis of electric vehicles. This would save a lot of weight and massively improve range and performance. The cost for Tesla Model S and Model X CCS retrofit in Europe has dropped. The new cost is €299 for hardware retrofit customers' cars, as well as the appropriate CCS Combo 2 adapter. This allows customers to charge older cars at V3 superchargers. According to official BMW global sales data, the BMW MINI E Cooper SE sold nearly as many examples in the first half of this year as the BMW i3 and i8 combined. It suggests that customers are shunning the iBrand and switching to mainstream electric vehicles instead. Reports surfaced this week that claim Tesla is interested in wearable smartwatch technology. Traced back to an FCC filing from a Norwegian tech company making a smartwatch for kids, there's mention of Tesla in the filing, suggesting that the automaker is about to make an acquisition. BMW may just be getting ready to launch the iX3 electric SUV, but this week we heard a rumour via carmagazine.co.uk that BMW is working on an all-electric version of its next-generation 2024 M5 sports sedan. It will have 1,000 horsepower, but we've not been able to corroborate that story further. Rivian is asking the judge in its case filed against it by Tesla alleging that it stole secrets and poached staff to dismiss. It argues that 2 of the 3 claims failed to state sufficient allegations and instead was an attempt by Tesla to, quote, malign its reputation and hurt its own recruiting efforts. Unfortunately, I think this one will go on for a while. And those are your short shorts. There will be more next week. Construction sites are noisy places full of a cacophony of organised chaos that's jackhammers, drills, dump trucks, diggers, and much, much more. But German company Wacker Neuson has now launched a new series of products designed to do away with the smell and noise of your average construction site and instead replace the air with the gentle whir and buzz of zero-emission construction equipment. Earlier this year, it showcased a completely zero-emission construction site in the middle of Denmark, and this week it launched one of those vehicles it showcased then, the all-electric mini excavator EZ17E. The mini excavator is powered by a lithium-ion battery, which Wacker Neuson says can last an entire day on a busy work site and can be recharged at night using any kind of power source from 100 volts single phase all the way up to 415 volts three phase. And finally, in Europe, the Hyundai Kona EV with the 64 kilowatt-hour battery pack has an official WLTP test cycle range of 484 kilometers per charge. This makes it far from the longest-legged electric car on sale today, although as several people have commented on this channel before, it's certainly a car that you can get more out of if you know how to drive it. Just how much more though? Well, according to a team who just broke a new Hyundai record for distance covering on a single charge, a whole lot more. You see, 3 Kona EVs driven in an efficiency event in Germany have just covered 1,018, 1,024 and 1,026 kilometres respectively on a single charge. That's more than double the official WLTP range. The catch? The teams are on a closed road, averaging speeds of around 30 kilometers per hour, with no air conditioning or any auxiliary equipment on. I love that these kind of feats are possible, but hey, Hyundai, it's not particularly great marketing to promote super slow driving now, is it? And on that note, we're done for today. Thanks to the Electric Auto Association for sponsoring today's show. They have been advocating for electric vehicles since 1967, and they firmly believe that our future depends on us all making the switch to clean, green electric cars today. You can find out how to join, how to become a local EV educator yourself, attend local monthly meetups, or find EV owners to talk about your own switch to electric by going to electricauto.org. I would love it if you would like, comment and subscribe to this channel if you haven't already. And if you do feel able, please do consider supporting us using any of the links below. It lets us do things like the Rolls-Royce feature we did last week. If you can't though, just know that watching and interacting with our content here really does help the Google algorithms. So if you do, thank you. I'll be back next week with more great content for you all to enjoy, but in the meantime, stay healthy, work to make the world a fairer, safer place for us all to live in, strive for equality, be kind to one another, wash your hands, wear a mask, and yes, if you are eligible to vote this November in the US, please do make sure you're on the voter roll. If you don't vote, then basically you don't get to complain about the result. Oh, and thanks for putting up with the heat today. It's really hot in this studio. Keep evolving.